Today we are reacting to the Minimal Mom and the 57 things that she's not buying anymore.
Number 1, kids' toys. Number 2, new clothing for kids. Number 3, baby gear. Number 4, games. Number 5, books for kids. Number 6, those art kits that are like all pre-packaged. Our family has lived as minimalists for about 6 years now, and so today I want to share with you 50 things that we no longer buy. However, most of them aren't because we live as minimalists or we live really simply. We actually got rid of most of these things when we were on the journey to becoming debt-free. So really our main reason behind stopping buying most of these things was money. The second was this idea of inventory and not having so much stuff to manage. And then the third has become because it's better for the earth. So I shared with you a few of our things for kids.
There's definitely a huge connection between minimalism and debt payoff. When you decide that you don't need as many things and you stop buying as many things, it makes it easier for there to be more gap between your income and what you're spending. And with that gap, you can pay off debt faster. You can save for that new car faster. All those things that you want to do, you can do faster when you decide that you need less things. And like she was saying, then you have less things to manage, which is totally a bonus.
That we don't buy anymore. And the main motivation with not buying brand new kid stuff is that there is so much out there already. And so we don't buy any kind of toys for our kids, not new toys, not used toys, because they get plenty as gifts.
So my only caveat to this, never buying new kids toys, is those birthdays. You know, we want birthdays to be fun and they need presents. So it depends kind of like what the grandparents are like and how gifty they are. We are definitely buying our kids things for their birthday, but I'm kind of trying to shift into maybe experiences or new clothes, or we are definitely building our Lego stock. We're kind of like focusing on that as our toy base so that we basically kind of have one kind of toy. We have Legos, and then we don't have a million different little things running around the house making a mess.
But all of these decisions, I didn't just say, oh, I'm a minimalist, I'm not gonna buy this stuff. There was a lot of thought that went into it. So similar to kids' toys, new kids' clothing, we do not buy because there is so much used clothing out there. But they also still get new stuff from family members for Christmas. So their wardrobes still look current. I've never felt like our kids look, I don't know, dumpy. Like they still have cute clothes, but I save so much money.
Now the kids' clothes are a little bit more complicated, at least for me, because time is definitely a factor for this too. So I don't want to be spending 5 hours every Saturday searching for kids' clothes, and especially boys' pants. I can hardly ever find any of those used, so it's just simpler for me to buy them on Target. I just got 4 pairs of pants and it was $40, so $10 a pop with shipping right to my house in 10 minutes. That was definitely worth it. And I didn't spend 5 hours looking for pants and then failing to find them pants.
And along those same lines is baby gear. Whenever we've needed anything for our babies, I like to ask friends and family first, and then I mean, could Facebook Marketplace make it any easier to get stuff for babies?
100% on this baby gear. Babies are not very hard on gear because they don't use it for very long. So you want a swing, but they only use it for 3 months and then they're too big. And so then you just pass it on to the next person. So it's not a big deal to use used baby gear because it's very lightly worn.
Also, don't buy birthday gifts for our kids, so their birthday party is their gift. And we also have a tradition where they get to make their own cake and decorate it themselves, and they love it. They'll talk about all year how they're gonna decorate their cake and all the different ideas that they have. So that's been a fun tradition, and they still get gifts from other family members. So they still get gifts. All right, so before we move,
I like the idea of having some sort of experience for birthdays. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but maybe you go to the zoo for your birthday and then you decorate your special cake. We definitely do the special cake thing, and then, you know, there's presents too. But I'm wondering how we could transform that over time. Do you have like a scheme for that, where it's less of a present focus and it's more of an activity, special day focus? How does that work for you?
We're gonna move on to the kitchen and the bathroom. A couple other things that I don't buy in here. I don't buy much for seasonal decor anymore. I also do not buy storage furniture anymore, and that probably doesn't surprise you, but if anything, I try to get rid of storage furniture because it just tends to accumulate stuff. And again, this goes back to that idea of inventory and how much stuff do we want to manage. For me, our house functions best and I can stay on top of it the best when we don't have a lot of stuff.
I like how she says storage containers. It's making me think of like these cabinets that I have that I store things in, like books and games and all that sorts of things. But she's right. It's just a place for things to accumulate. And the more places you have to store things, the more things you will bring home to store. And when you're bringing something home to store, you are paying money for that.
Also, when it comes to food and the kitchen, so even during uncertain times like right now, I don't like to stock up on a lot of food because it's just more to manage and we waste it. Whenever we have too much food, it just gets wasted. And so we don't want to be foolish. We have an extra freezer in the basement that has extra meat in it and some extra canned goods, but you definitely have to do what you're comfortable with. Along those same lines, I do not like buying bulk or big packages of things. Again, it's just more stuff that we have to manage. I find that our budget is used the best when we grocery shop every week and get just the stuff we need for that week and no more.
I am totally on board with this one because this idea that we should just stock up when things are on sale and then we'll just use it like normal and it will save us money is often not true. If we have an excess of things, we might end up using more than we intended. So one, we overconsume when we have that huge stock. And the other thing is that you give it the opportunity to go bad, to expire, especially with food items, and then you just end up throwing it out. So even if you got it on clearance, if you end up throwing it out in 5 years because you haven't used it, you are wasting that money, even though it was cheap.
We also really try to stay away from prepackaged snacks or anything that's individualized. We also, of course, don't buy plastic water bottles. I really like these. And I like getting these kind of mid-size jars that have the straight size. They're 24-ounce jars.
So the problem for me with this is that we break everything. And there's no way my children could be drinking out of mason jars because we would be cleaning up glass all the time. So the alternative for us is stainless steel water bottles. They all have straws because I feel like people drink more water when there's a straw. And when they drop them, they do not shatter. Bonus. And I do try to pick ones that seem like they're easy to clean and you can get them 100% clean so they don't get gross. But those plastic ones are gross.
So I would probably say that clothing is the area where I've made the biggest changes, and really just deciding that I deserve to wear clothes that I feel good in, no matter what size, how good a shape or not good a shape I'm in, that I should always have at least a few outfits. And what I found for myself is that usually these things do not come from the clearance rack. They don't usually come from Amazon, and that I don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money on them, but I do need to try them on, and when I try it on, it needs to fit right. I need to not be adjusting it. I need to not have to make any alterations or suck in or any of that. I don't need a huge wardrobe. That's what's so cool. When everything in our closet fits and we feel good and we like wearing it, we don't need a huge wardrobe. And so that's been a huge mindset shift, because in the past I had tons of clothes and nothing to wear. And then for any of us that live where there's distinct seasons, where you fully experience all 4 seasons, you know that it's really easy to accumulate outerwear. And so for me,
I have this clothing struggle too. You go to one of those discount stores and you see that something's a good deal, it's on sale. It doesn't mean that it's the absolute best fit for you, but you're like, well, what could be the harm? You know, it's close enough. Maybe I'll love it. Who knows? Maybe I'll decide that I actually am a neon person. And then you bring it home and then it sits in the back of your closet for forever and you don't use it, and that money was entirely wasted because it wasn't your thing. So I'm definitely trying to focus on this too. Buying things that fit you well, that actually work for what you're truly like. And even if that means that you're spending more money on them, it can be worth it because you will wear them for real and they won't just sit in the back of the closet. And you can actually have less things if you have good staples that you know you look good in, you know that they are your colors, and then you just wear those all the time. So I think you would actually spend less money in the long run if you are focusing on quality items that you know that you will love and wear, as opposed to shopping the sales and just picking up the things that seem like they're a good price.
mid-weight, winter jacket because if it's super cold out, we don't go outside. But if I'm walking, I need something that's not too heavy so I don't get like super sweaty, and it's comfortable that when you get in the car, then you're not too hot, or if you have to run inside. And then one vest. And so this is great for layering. Same with boots. I just try to have one pair that's versatile, that I could wear to church or I could wear running errands, because again, you could have lots of different options. But for me, I kind of like that I just know what I'm wearing. Like if I look in the closet, I'm just grabbing one coat. Like there's not other options. And I actually really like that a lot.
I am totally guilty of having way too many coats. That makes me think that I need to get rid of some of the ones that I have, but they're so pretty.
Okay, so shoes, handbags, accessories. So when it comes to shoes, for every season, I just like to have 3. I have to take what I'm wearing one of them right now. So for every season, I have, these are my summer. So I have my just everyday wear around, something that's dressy but neutral. And then I have something that I can walk in.
Anyway, as far as the shoes, I think I've got that on lock. I've got my snow boots, and then I have my medium rain boots that are slip-ons, and they're just black, so perfect.
And then when it comes to purses and handbags, I just have this leather tote. I actually got this at Walmart 2 years ago, and it's been holding up really well, and I really like it. And then I had gotten this wallet, and it matches. I did not even plan it. But mostly probably the biggest difference is that I just don't go shopping for a hobby or for something to do. Both Diana and I have agreed, like, we just don't do that anymore. And that's definitely helped a lot with impulse purchases when it comes to clothes. Okay, moving on to the launch.
When I was growing up, we definitely went shopping for fun. So I do enjoy shopping. That doesn't mean you have to buy things when you're shopping for fun, but it's kind of like a fun hobby. Yes, that probably means that you spend more money than necessary, but to me, it's kind of an experience, and it like happens every 2 years. So it's okay, because we kind of live out in the middle of nowhere. So there's not very many places to just shop for fun, but it's just so much fun to look at all the pretty things and admire everything. Do you go shopping for fun or just necessity?
So at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I think what I've really found is that I just find stuff that works well enough and try not to always be searching for something that works better. So this especially applies to buying extra hair products and makeup products. My hair is what it is, right? And so I'm not gonna try anymore and keep wasting money. But you know what's cool about that is when you stick to the same makeup and hair products, you actually learn how to use them better over time. And I feel like you kind of get the hang of them. So I'm actually really happy with all of my hair and makeup products right now. So that's been kind of cool.
I think everyone kind of has to go through an experimentation phase to kind of figure out what is their look, what is their lip color, what is their eyeshadow color, what mascara doesn't make you break out. And then after you figure those things out and you find your good enough solution, then you can just buy those things and you don't have to keep trying new and different things like she was saying. And that can really save you a lot of money. But I do feel like you have to allow for that experimentation phase. That, do I really like purple eyeshadow? Maybe I do. Maybe it's the best thing ever. And maybe it's not, but I'm gonna try it for a while and see what I think. Just to be open to being different or looking different than you normally do. And then once you've settled in, then you can kind of give those other things away or throw them away as time goes on. I do think once in a while we do need a look refresh, you know, every 10 years or so. So we kind of keep up with the trends so that we look current.
We've also stopped buying wedding gifts. We'll just get a gift card to wherever they're registered. Basically because, I mean, even though we got married 12 years ago, we really appreciated the gift cards and cash gifts when we were first getting started, and so we kind of figure that others appreciate the same.
This is a really interesting point about wedding gifts, and I kind of think it's good to kind of like have a scheme about what you're gonna do. And I'm thinking back to our wedding, and when we got gift cards, it was so great because everyone had gotten us sheets for our bed, but no one had gotten us any blankets. So we used those gift cards because we didn't own any blankets. A gift card means that the couple can go out and buy those last things that they really needed, or that priority or that can opener that they didn't have like we did. I also definitely think this would cut down on the time that you spend thinking about this, because I'm always looking at people's registries, even though that's kind of just an interesting thing to do anyway. But I'm looking at their registry and I'm getting them something that they would like, that's in our budget. But if you just do a gift card, that's like a 5-minute process and not a 20 half-hour process. So that could be clever.
We also don't pay for family photos, and this was something that we cut out again when we were trying to get out of debt and haven't gone back to. And so I think so I love photographers, right? We have friends that are family photographers, but we just feel like it's gotten a little out of control with like having a photographer for in the hospital, and then newborn pictures and first birthday and all of these different things, and then yearly family photos. And so you do you, but for us, we feel like because cell phones have gotten so good, we're able to capture pictures all of the time, that we try to only do like a formal family photo every 4 or 5 years. And so far that's worked out well for us.
Okay, I kind of disagree about this professional photo thing. So I understand when you're getting out of debt, you definitely want to be looking at budget options. So you could look for an up and coming photographer who's trying to build their portfolio. Their prices will probably be a lot lower than someone who is well established. Of course, you may get hit or miss quality there, but photos are something that, I don't know, they're so important to me that they're worth spending lots of money on, because it's something you can always have. It's something you can always look at. And we also make photo books, and the kids love looking at them. They love looking at themselves. And you know, how many good photos of mom do you get? So that's kind of the main gripe I hear, is that mom is never in the photos. And of course I try to be in the photos, and it's not like anyone's trying to not take my picture, but you know, I'm the one, you know, snapping all the pictures of the kids all the time, which means by definition, I am in less photos. But that time for you to get specifically dolled up so that you look great, you get good clothes for your photo shoot, and then everybody gets in that photo shoot, especially when you have growing kids. They're only gonna be that size for so long, and those photos are just so excellent, and especially newborn photos. It is hard to take photos of a newborn that look good, and I will never regret having all of those newborn photos taken. So for me, it's worth saving up. It's worth the splurge to do family photos, especially when you have growing children. And what is the purpose of scrimping and saving on all these other things if you can't spend in areas that are truly important to you? So this is one of those truly important categories to me, so it's totally worth spending on.
Magazines, I felt like they made me want to buy stuff or do different projects to our house or change stuff. It caused me to feel dissatisfied with my life or our house, and so I found that it wasn't actually good. Like, I didn't find it helpful reading
magazines. Can be super fun, but I don't buy them either. I find that like half of them end up being advertisements, and I'm like, what exactly was the point of that? And the other thing is I don't really have much time to sit around and read them or enjoy them. So then they just end up in the trash. So why would I pay for that? Even though I do like that Magnolia magazine, so I might get that again sometime when I have some spare time. But in general, why would I pay for a subscription or a magazine that was just chock full of ads?
Magazine. And then the last thing that we don't buy anymore is stuff we can't afford. Yeah. Getting out of debt is a lot of work, but man, it is just so worthwhile. And so while we were on that journey, there were so many things we had to say no to, but it was good because it retrains your brain and it makes you realize all of the stuff you can live without, all of the stuff you bought that didn't live up to what it said it was gonna do. I mean, how much stuff gets so hyped up, like it's gonna be so awesome, and then it's not actually that great, right? It gets pushed to the back of the cupboard or the closet. We regret buying it. And so that's really what fueled a lot of these decisions, was just trying to save money and just cut out any excess that we could possibly think of so we could get out of debt quicker.
I think this is the best tip because this is the #1 money rule. Don't buy stuff that you can't afford. And if you're not used to this, this can be a very painful transition. But like she was saying, it kind of like rewires your brain to start thinking about things in a whole new way and to stop seeing things as like, oh, I've got to buy this because, you know, the advertising is so good or it looks fun. It's like, actually, I don't need this. I might not use it. I might never use it and no one will ever use it and it's going to sit in the back of my closet. If you want to get started on your debt-free journey, check out the description. There's a couple of resources there for you. If you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye for now.